So today, working on another one of my piston creations. This piston and rod came out of a 1955 Ford F100 Y-block engine, my personal build. I'm carving 3 of these pistons out of that truck for each one of my kids as sort of like a souvenir, sentimental thing, someday, whatever. You can see I've already put it in the wash tank and got it cleaned up a little bit. It'll need more cleaning, but I'll do that with brass brushes and things of that nature, sandpaper. But I've got my face carved into it. I'm doing like a gladiator type helmet face for the front of it, and then in the top I'll do like my company name, and then on the back side I'll draw in and carve out Ford emblem and Dad's truck and blah blah blah. But that'll be for other episodes. Today we're starting to work on this. Get started. So I put the piston in the ground. First of all, I got music in the background. If you don't like it, I apologize. Kind of my stuff, so what I like to listen to keeps me occupied while I'm doing this. I use a simple Dremel setup with a pencil whip. One of the critical things is if you're going to get into this type of thing, spend good money. I bought Snap-on carbide bits for this operation, and they go small right down to like a needle point, as you can see, and you use them all for this type of thing. Don't skimp on these, because the quality will be low and your frustration will be high. And then aluminum is really rough on these carbide bits. As you can see, I know kind of hard to see, and I can only get it so far here, but the tooling cuts in there are really fine, really small. So I use bar soap, just any old bar soap, cheapest you can buy. This round happened to be Zest. When I went there, it was the cheapest, like 5-pack, and you can see all my marks in the soap. You just burn it in there, and it coats the carbide bit and cools it, and it adds as a cutting agent for the aluminum to prevent it from gumming the bit up. And then every once in a while you still will. So on the table I've got a piece of hard ox steel that every once in a while I'll run this carbide bit over that just to flake out the aluminum shavings. That seems to work well. And then lastly, you want to have an air compressor on hand if you're going to do stuff like this, because you get metal shavings and shit all over the place. And then obviously safety glasses, because that'll ruin your day in a heartbeat, getting a flake of metal in your eye. So safety first, boys and girls. So I just start out, once I get the face drawn in there and I like what it looks like, then I start out with really fine cuts, and I just kind of scratch, trace the outline in that I've penciled in. That way, if I do make a mistake, and it isn't horrible to fix. Because even mistakes are fixable. Sometimes the mistakes you incorporate into the design in the end, and it ends up adding maybe even a little character to it when it's all done. So don't be afraid to make a mistake, because sometimes the mistakes make it look cooler. Sometimes. Again, small light scratch. Keep dipping your bit in the soap. Hand placement is pretty critical also. You want to make sure that your hands, you're standing work in general is in a nice, comfortable spot. Because if it's not, then you'll get pretty wonky. You don't want to get wonky. What I'm doing there is I'm shading in a little bit. You'll notice in the beginning I showed you the picture, there was some areas were blackened out. So those areas I'm going to carve and gouge all the way out. So I like to kind of work on those a little bit. While I'm tracing everything out, just to scratch in on my shading, because the more you mess with it, the more you're going to rub that magic marker off. And then also you can sort of forget what was supposed to be shaded in, and trust me, I've done it. And then before you know it, you realize, oh shit, I'm actually gouging in an area that's supposed to be raised. It's tedious, it's not labor intensive, but it requires a lot of patience. You got to be focused on this at all times, because if you're not, then you are definitely going to screw something up, or even get yourself with the carbide bit. And believe it or not, it doesn't tear you up all that bad. Mostly because it's moving at such a rapid RPM that it kind of bounces off, and it'll scratch you a little bit. I mean, if you're getting hoggy with it, then yeah, it's gonna bite you. But not terrible. So anybody signing on to this video looking for like a really action-packed segment, this isn't action-packed. This is tedious. It's fine work. You don't. It's not excitement. know, my designs come from a lot of different places. I will find them a lot online. Pinterest is a great place to find some concept designs and whatnot. No different than the tattoo guys, you know, find idea concepts through like AI and things of that nature. Some of the designs are 100% my own. Just kind of brainstormed them and went at it, and there you go. Some of them are most of them are a combination of both, frankly. You take a design and then ultimately in the end you kind of sort of make it your own, little tweaks here or there. I'd say 98% of them are kind of hybrid. They're design concepts that I started with the concept and then added little tweaks to it to sort of make it my own. Sorry I turned my back to you, but sometimes you got to put yourself in the right position to make this happen. You know, and sometimes you start out and it's not quite symmetrical. And that's where you go back in, and that's why you just scratch it. That way you can kind of tweak it a little bit as you go and all of that good stuff. Fading these last two little profiles out. I'll show you a little tip. I'll pull the piston out. So I've got it kind of traced in, as you can see, and you can see all my shading, and then right there in the center there'll be a center stripe that's profile raised, and or two, I should say, profile indent and then two raised on each end. And then as you can see in my initial drawing, my shading, like here, was way more out here and also way more up here, and just as I started going, it kind of looked a little too much. And as I look at it here, this has got a thinner reveal here than it does here, so I'll have to adjust that a little bit on this side, bring this up so that way everything is symmetrical looking. But that's why you scratch it in to start with, and then once you like the tracing, and then you scratch it in, and once you like the scratch in, then you can go all in on giving it some. Couple of small adjustments. Now everything looks a little more symmetrical, and as you start to carve in deeper, then you can always, you know, adjust that even a little bit more on the fly, but right now it's a good start. So if you like what you saw, again, I get it, it's kind of slow, but if you're interested in this kind of stuff and you like what you saw, please like and subscribe and stay tuned for more videos, because there'll be more coming. Thanks.